Pamela Anderson went on The View, and she ended up sparring with them about Julian Assange. Kind of sparring with all of them, but most notably Meghan McCain. Let's watch.
You know that. He's an interesting guy. I mean, he's obviously ruffled the feathers of some very powerful people, and powerful people want to keep him quiet.
When you were visiting him, he was allegedly kicked out of the Ecuadorian embassy because he was defecating everywhere and creating messes.
No, that's a smear campaign. That's not true.
There was video of things that happened. I mean, I don't.
What would you do if you were locked in a room for
just really quick
6 years?
Well, I wouldn't be a cyber terrorist, which he is. He hacked information. His leaks included classified documents that put our national security at risk, our military,
you know,
and the lives of spies and diplomats
at risk. How many people have the American government killed innocently, and how many has WikiLeaks?
So you think the military is putting the government at risk?
The military has put many innocent lives at risk.
Oh, calm down, sir. I'm actually genuinely curious about your relationship with him.
War crimes need to be punished, and they haven't. The war crimes that he's exposed, no one's done anything about it, but they put him in jail to shut him up.
Are you talking about the 210 video of the helicopter fire killing civilians in Iraq?
Yeah, well, that's one thing, but there's so many other things that he's exposed, and it's not just America he's exposed. He's exposed Russia. He's exposed all sorts of different countries.
That's a controversial area, Russia. A lot of people say that that as does the Mueller report, that Assange interfered in the 2016 election by conspiring with Russia by releasing hacked emails, which hurt Hillary Clinton. It's almost like, is he responsible for giving us Trump? I mean, his timing and the way
the timing, but you know, Hillary Clinton is responsible for Trump. She's the one that she
timing, though. Why is he a
Trump information? No, I was with him.
Why would people think he is? Why would he help Trump?
Well, he wasn't helping Trump. He was trying to tell the American people true information that Hillary Clinton was doing, so they can make an educated choice. And I think FBI kind of put the nail in that coffin.
But do you mean to tell me that he had nothing on Trump? Come on, and that didn't get released.
I don't know. I don't know if he had something on Trump, he would have put it out there.
And also that when
he had to
released her emails. I mean, the question I have though is like, what would you say to? I know that doesn't mean everything should be. The question I have though is like spies that go out and put their lives at risk, like Congressman Will Hurd, who we were just talking about, who's dedicated, you know, decades of his life to helping fight terrorism. It's classified information, I believe, is classified for a reason. I do have some faith in the U.S. government, although as a conservative, I have less faith normally than liberals do. So what would you say to the spies who are putting themselves at risk for our national security with your relationship with him?
Well, I don't think there's nothing proven that he's actually put anybody at risk. They've gone through this over and over again, and I think that people like Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning are heroes, and Julian Assange is a publisher.
Who knows who thinks that?
What is happening, and there's so many awful war crimes that need to be exposed that, you know, his whole intention is to stop these senseless wars. War is a business. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help anybody. And I think he really, a lot of people, being in France, being in Canada, aren't too happy with America and how they meddle into everybody's business and start all these senseless wars.
But he's meddling in everybody's business too.
Well, he's exposing, but he's not saying his opinion. He's giving the information.
I get that you consider him a whistleblower.
Well, he's a publisher.
He's also dangerous.
But he's a publisher, and he's a publisher, and he supports whistleblowers.
He's certainly stirred up a lot in this country.
Well, that's he's a cyber terrorist. I'll say it.
The Republican Party.
It's ridiculous. I'm not going to stand by this. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay, I have a very simple and straightforward message for Meghan McCain. Just because you talk in a scornful tone doesn't mean you're right. She tries to replace substance with, like, smug condescension and acts like that somehow makes what she's saying more intelligent. That's her whole trick. Go back and watch that again. She does this thing where she puts on, like, this serious face, like, I'm not taking any nonsense face, and then she's just incredibly smug and condescending and thinks that that makes the substance of what she's saying more serious. And it's kind of embarrassing to watch. So let's run through it. There's so much here. First of all, the entire panel seems to be against her. And I gotta say, man, she does a wonderful job jousting with them. I've now watched this 3 times, and, you know, the first time I wasn't sure. Then the second and third time you pick up on finer little points where she really just knows the material much better than they do, and she kind of runs circles around them, and they have nothing but, like, stale talking points of things they heard that have not been verified or backed up at all with the evidence. So let's run through it. First and foremost, He's a cyber terrorist. Cyber terrorist. What does that even mean? He's beheading people in video games? He's a cyber... Listen, no. I gotta... Let me be fair. The definition of like a cyber terrorist in my mind would be, okay, if somebody gets our nuclear codes and gives them to Al-Qaeda, and, you know, that's the whole thing that they did. They got our nuclear codes, they turned them over to Al-Qaeda, they did it all through the computer, and that was that. Yeah, I'd be comfortable calling that person a cyber terrorist, for sure. Julian Assange did not do that and would never do that. And he did not put our soldiers or our spies at risk. That's a nonsense talking point that they're scrambling for anything to attack him with, and that's what they came up with. And you got to remember, guys, the reason the Trump administration is going after him is specifically because he exposed war crimes of the U.S. government. And they briefly touched on that there, but that point really should have been harped away on because it's incredibly important. That's why they hate him. That's why they're coming after him, is because he showed our soldiers massacring civilians, laughing at it, and then doing something that's called a double tap, which is circling back around and killing the first responders. Well, come to find out, it was media people, civilians who were massacred, and then they killed, you know, the first responders as well, who were not terrorists. And the whole time they're laughing about it and giggling it up, and guess what? You know who went to prison? The person who released that video and that information about U.S. war crimes to Julian Assange, who then released it to the public. So in other words, Chelsea Manning went to prison. You know who didn't go to prison? The people massacring civilians and then laughing about it in the video. Weird world we live in, huh? And people like all the hosts on The View there, specifically Meghan McCain, especially Meghan McCain, they think that Julian Assange is the criminal for releasing that video, and Chelsea Manning isn't a hero for releasing that video, and they're defending U.S. intelligence agencies and the war crimes of our government. No. See, this is why the Pentagon Papers were so important, and Daniel Ellsberg today is viewed as a hero. Because he exposed the war crimes in Vietnam. And hindsight is 2020. When you put enough time between the war and the action of Daniel Ellsberg, people go, oh yeah, you know, he was kind of right. I mean, proving that we're napalming and using Agent Orange on innocent villagers and peasants, landless peasants in Vietnam. Yeah, he's showing that we're doing war crimes and that we should stop doing them. And now we all go, oh, that guy's a hero. Well, Chelsea Manning did the same goddamn thing. It's the exact same thing, except change the war. And still, you got Meghan McCain and the idiots on The View, because they can't get over that Julian Assange released information that showed how deeply corrupt Hillary Clinton is. They can't get past that, and so now, all of a sudden, they think he basically deserves to be locked up. And it's unbelievably pathetic. So that's the main point. He exposed war crimes, and that's why the government's going after him. And then I loved when Pamela Anderson said Hillary Clinton is responsible for Trump. Well, yeah, first and foremost, because she couldn't beat him, which should have been incredibly easy. But second of all, yeah, the Pied Piper strategy. It was the DNC, it was Hillary Clinton. They said, let's act like Trump is the best candidate on the Republican side, because in their mind, they thought, oh, that's the easiest path to nomination for us, to victory for us, is if Trump's the nominee, we're definitely going to win. So let's prop him up. Say, oh, yeah, Trump, oh, so serious. Oh, yeah, he's the one. And chickens came home to roost at some point on that. And then final point is when Meghan McCain, when she says, Pamela Anderson goes, well, Chelsea Manning and Edward Snowden, these are heroes. Chelsea Manning exposed war crimes and then basically put her life on the line and spent time behind bars and was tortured, all to give the American public information that we should have seen and should have never been classified in the first place. Edward Snowden showing everybody, hey guys, we have this Fourth Amendment thing, which is supposed to protect you from unreasonable search and seizure. But hey, look at that. The NSA is spying on all of you, taking all of your metadata. Total violation of the Fourth Amendment. So Pamela Anderson rightly says they're heroes. And what does Meghan McCain say? Putin also thinks that. Dog, what? No. She has nothing but, like, she's like an amalgamation of shitty mainstream talking points that she just vomits out in a scornful tone and thinks that she's intelligent when she does it. Honestly, one of the most embarrassing people on TV, if not the most embarrassing person on TV. Because she's not even good at this. Like, it's one thing if you're playing this role of shitty propagandist, but you're good at it. You're not even good at it. Listen, you're part of the Lucky Sperm Club. Your dad is John McCain, and that's the only reason why anybody even knows who you are right now. And she's just not equipped for this shit, man. Holy shit. He's a cyber terrorist. There, I said it. She acts like she's saying something like edgy. You're just repeating the establishment fucking bullshit establishment bubble wisdom to protect centers of power in American political life. That's not edgy. That's really stupid and dumb and wrong. But there's nothing worse than that, in my opinion. It's like, it's one thing to be wrong. It's another thing to be wrong and smug about it. And it's another thing to be wrong and smug and, like, pretend like it's also edgy when it's not edgy. Like, Pamela Anderson is the one taking the edgy position of the truth teller who's, like, letting everybody know uncomfortable truths. Like, yeah, no, spies were threatened. Julian Assange did the right thing by releasing all this information. Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning are heroes. But, like, she repeats, like, the CIA would pat her on the head, like, ooh, thank you, our little puppet. Thank you for repeating all this stuff. And she acts like she's edgy. I'll say it. He's a cyber terrorist. Putin would say that too. Ugh, God damn it. I feel like I need a shower after watching a back and forth including Meghan McCain. She really needs to reel it in with that, like, fake, serious look and angry, scornful tone. It's so over the top. It's like you could tell she's not even listening to anything that the person is going to say. And it's just she's waiting to talk. That's it. She's waiting to hear her own voice and repeat her bullshit talking points. But she's got that look like I'm going to tell you. You're going to tell me what? The same bullshit you've been vomiting out for the past 2.5 years? Yeah, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it because we all know what you're going to say before you even say it. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Have an original thought. So you think she's, like, doing good by the memory of her father. And by the way, she will not hesitate to let you know that my dad, my father. I don't know if you guys have seen that on Twitter, but there's this viral video that went around of Meghan McCain just nonstop. My father. Well, that is why she's where she is, so at least we can agree on that.